Hey guys, welcome back to my channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we're going back to our channel roots here. We're going to be talking about a small cap company. It operates here in Canada in the MJ space, but they offer a lot of other things in addition to their MJ exposure. So we're going to go through their business model. We're going to talk about some of their numbers. Their share price has been beaten up a lot over the last couple of years, so it may be a good opportunity to get involved with this company. Now the company name is Neptune Wellness Solutions, and they're really a diversified CPG, consumer packaged goods, distribution, supply chain type of conglomerate. There's a lot going on with this company, so we're going to try and unpack it in this video. Before we get into it, you guys, take a look in the video description below. I've got a couple of links in there. One of them's for BlockFI. If you're currently sitting on any crypto, this is a great way to earn some interest on your money. The other one's to QuestTrade. As most of you know, this is the online brokerage that I use here in Canada. If you've been sitting on the fence for a while, you're thinking about getting involved with investing, it's definitely a good time to take that leap, and I would highly recommend you take a look at QuestTrade as your brokerage or as your online platform. Now, in addition to that, you guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, McNallie Money, take a second to do so. Smash that like button. It's a huge help to me and the channel. It's 100% free to do. And let me know in the comment section below what you think of Neptune, if you're currently holding any shares, and what you thought about this analysis or review video. Now without further ado, you guys, let's roll the intro clip and get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today we're going to be getting back to our roots here on the channel. We're going to be talking about a small cap penny stock based in Canada, none other than Neptune Wellness Solutions. Ticker symbol NEPT, NEPT, on the NASDAQ. Now this is a company that I've watched for quite some time. It's in the MJ space, but there's a lot more to this company than just simply MJ distribution or consumer packaging, and we're going to unpack some of that in this video here. They do have a lot going on within this organization, so I'll do my best to give you guys a deep dive on the company, look at a few of the different growth areas for this business moving forward, and talk about some of the ways that this company, Neptune Wellness, has really differentiated itself. So in terms of the chart, Neptune closed out on Thursday at $1.30 US. It was down 2 cents on the day, so about 1.5%. And after hours here, you can see that they were down pretty much the exact same, another 2 cents or 1.5% overall. Now, if we look at a 1-year chart, you can see things have been a little bit grim for this company. Back in July of last year, 2020, this was above $3, and we've continually seen this trade down over the last 12 months, and we really now are touching all-time lows. If you zoom out to a 5-year here, you can see that back in 2017, this company was about a 90-cent stock. We're getting pretty close to those type of levels here again in 2021, which is why I thought it might be an interesting time to put this video out, get this on some of your guys' radar. This is not a company that I currently hold, but like I mentioned, this was one that I was looking at back in the days of Valens and Labs. Neptune was kind of in that same type of realm, and this was a stock that I considered purchasing and holding, but I didn't pull the trigger on. Now looking back, there was an opportunity to make quite a bit of money here. This stock made it all the way up to nearly $6 in July of 2019, but as mentioned, it has struggled quite significantly over the last couple of years here. Now in terms of these support levels, it does look very strong around $1, so if Neptune Wellness continues to trade down and get close to that 95 cents, $1, 105 kind of range, I definitely feel like that is a bottom for this company, and that would be a good entry point if you're looking to take advantage or get involved with Neptune moving forward. Now based on Thursday's close of $1.30, that gives a market cap on Neptune of 218 million US. So it is kind of a mid-sized stock, not the smallest we've talked about on this channel, definitely not the largest, but I would say it's in the small cap to maybe mid cap kind of realm for a lot of these MJ type of producers or MJ CPG type of companies. Now, in addition to the attractive price point of Neptune right now, there's a couple of news articles that recently came out, which were another reason I wanted to get this video out in a timely manner. So number one is in relation to the MJ side of this company. So Neptune's Mood Ring brand, or Mood Ring MJ, has now launched in British Columbia, so another province here in Canada. We're going to talk about some of the provincial exposure that this brand currently has, but BC is definitely a big market, especially in the MJ world. And they've actually launched Mood Ring there, which includes flower offerings. So this is relatively new for Neptune Wellness. And if you scroll down here, you can see that they've actually launched the THC capsules, THC oil, and the Mood Ring Florida Citrus Kush flower. So that's the actual dried MJ product itself. Now this is super exciting for the company. We're going to talk about some of these brands in a second here, but this was definitely a big move and one that was definitely well received for anyone who's currently holding this company. Now one theme you'll notice throughout this presentation, Neptune Wellness is really focused on giving back to the community and the environment in which they operate in. So one way they've really differentiated themselves and lived into that mantra in the MJ space is for every Mood Ring flower purchase, they're actually going to go out and donate a tree or plant a tree through their partnership with One Tree Planted. So that's definitely a grassroots movement here, you guys, and I think that does really speak to some of the potential customers in this type of segment. Now, in addition to that, they're also expecting to launch Mood Ring and their Panhash brand, which includes the flower offering, across all of their licensed Canadian footprint within the coming year. So definitely some growth on the horizon for this company, and things are looking up on the MJ side of this business. Now on the other end of the spectrum here, you guys, another big announcement which came out June 9th, so very recently here. Neptune has now partnered up and announced an exclusive licensing agreement between their Sprout Foods brand. So this is really a baby foods or packaging company that's focused on the infant market, and CoComelon. So for those of you who don't have kids, I recently had my first child. He's just about a year old, and he watches CoComelon religiously on Netflix and YouTube. Now, if you scroll down here, you can see that CoComelon is the world's #1 children's entertainment and educational show. So as a fellow YouTuber, to see a channel that has 110 million subscribers is almost unthinkable. Now layer on top of that CoComelon ranks #1 on YouTube with nearly 9 billion views and ranked #1 on Netflix as well for children's entertainment. Now Sprout is currently ranked #5 in terms of market share in the organic baby food category, and on the Amazon platform itself, it's ranked #3. So it's definitely a contender here, but by partnering up with such a well-known brand like CoComelon with such a massive audience and following, I really think this is a good opportunity for Sprout Foods to propel or springboard themselves into that top 1 or 2 ranked position in terms of market cap. So this is definitely a huge growth industry. I can tell you firsthand, you guys, feeding and taking care of children or babies is definitely expensive. I haven't tried out the Sprout Foods products for our son, but I'm definitely gonna after making this video and see how he reacts and how he likes it compared to some of the other brands that we've been using. So this one will be very interesting to watch and see how this relationship or licensing agreement really starts to move the needle on the Sprout Foods revenue in the coming quarters. So now that we've talked a little bit about the company in terms of their chart, we've looked at a few of the most notable and recent news articles on Neptune Wellness, I wanted to jump over to their website. In terms of how this video is going to be laid out, you guys, I'm going to give you a deep dive on the company's business model. We're going to look at their most recent investor presentation, and then towards the end of the video, I'll wrap it up. I'll give you guys my analysis or thoughts on this company moving forward and why I think this could be a really attractive investment for the long run here. So if you navigate over to their website, this is the homepage or landing page, and it reads, "A company built for positive impact. The world is in the midst of a crisis that we can no longer ignore. But few things rival the power of humans working together to bring about great change. At Neptune Wellness Solutions, we are on a mission to change consumption behaviors through environmentally friendly and innovative products that create a positive impact on the world so you can live longer and feel better. Together, we can build a more sustainable world." So you'll see, regardless of which vertical or product portfolio we're looking at, they really do have a mission, you guys, to make the world a better place and do business in a sustainable way that really complements and supports the communities that they do business in. Now, as a business major in school, in my mind, it really does come down to the dollars and cents, and the numbers don't lie, but I am a firm believer if you're able to do good for the world while generating a profit for your shareholders, that's really a win-win, and I'm totally supportive of these type of businesses as long as they don't lose sight of the bottom line and the financial well-being of their shareholders. Now, as we go through the investor deck presentation, you'll start to see a lot of these brands and products, but I wanted to just kick it off here by showing the wide range of products that Neptune Wellness actually currently offers. So these products here are actually under the Neptune Wellness brand or brand portfolio. And if you scroll down, you can see these are a lot of household items. So things like hand sanitizer, disinfecting wipes, thermometers, sanitizer gel. So a lot of things that are consumed in regular households, they get used up and they're going to need replaced. So it really does build that kind of repetitive buying behavior. Now, especially in light of the pandemic situation here, you guys, these products have become even more important and even bigger staples in the general world. So that's great and a macro trend for this company moving forward. Now on the MJ side of things, this is the Mood Ring brand. So if you scroll down here, you can see everything from CBD gummies, CBD oils, hashish or hash products. So again, wide portfolio here. We're going to look at these in a little bit more detail in a second. And then they've also got the Forest Remedies brand, again, keeping with that natural theme. And if you scroll down here, you can see another lineup of various different flavored CBD oils. Now this is just a sample of some of the products that they offer. Neptune Wellness also has a very robust distribution network, business to business sales, white labeling components. So there are a lot of other pieces to this business. But again, I wanted to kick off and just show a sample of some of the different types of products that they produce here. So this quote and this slide really sum up what I've been trying to say over the last couple of minutes pretty nicely. Neptune Wellness is really focused on building a modern CPG, so consumer packaged goods company, that's a force for good in the world. And again, you'll see this theme throughout the presentation, but I thought this was a really nice way to summarize. Now, building on that theme, Neptune is really focused on transforming the everyday for a healthier tomorrow. Neptune Wellness is a publicly held modern CPG company driven by a singular purpose: to transform the everyday for a healthier tomorrow. Building upon our 20 plus years of expertise in the nutraceutical manufacturing and MJ extraction space, as well as a superior seed to shelf supply chain, we are assembling a suite of good for you, good for the planet consumer brands across multiple verticals, including nutraceuticals, MJ, personal care, beauty, food and beverage, which is the Sprout brand we just talked about, and home, while expanding our existing B2B business. So very long track record, especially for a company involved in the MJ space, 20 plus years of experience with supply chain and distribution. You can see here they call out the MJ extraction. That's why I mentioned this was a potential candidate or competitor to the Valens company and labs, because they really did start out in that extraction space. They've got the nutraceuticals, which is a huge growth industry. They've got MJ. They've got the home line of products, the sanitizers, what we just looked at there, plus so much more that we're going to touch on right now. So obviously with a 20-year history, this company has gone through shifts or changes. In terms of who Neptune are today, or the new Neptune, they're a diversified portfolio of disruptive wellness brands positioned in large, high-growth categories. And we're going to look at these categories on the next slide, but this page really does a good job of laying out their 6 core competencies or pillars of this business. So number 1 is growing CPG brands through increased distribution and new production innovation. They're well positioned in the Canadian high growth MJ industry, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of, I'm very bullish on, and I talk a ton about on this channel. They're uniquely capable of distributing products, whether it's business to consumer, direct to consumer, or any combination of the three, to drive long-term organic growth. They have global distribution capabilities and relationships, strategically partnered with leading global companies such as Unilever and International Flavors and Fragrances, so very well connected with a lot of the major players worldwide. And then finally, we mentioned this, but they offer turnkey formulation and white label solutions. So companies can actually come to Neptune Wellness and they'll take care of a lot of the CPG and distribution related components of their supply chain or business. Now this slide here lays out all of the different brands that this company currently has in the market. So we talked briefly about Mood Ring and Panhash. We'll dive into those in a second here. They've got the Forest Remedies and Ocean Remedies, so very nature focused brands. They've got Maximil, which is a liquid absorption technology, the Sprout Organics, which is the baby food division, Biodroga, Nurture Me, and then Nosh. So again, very well diversified, big portfolio of brands, but the common thread or common theme throughout all of this is providing consumers with a cleaner, greener, and healthier alternative. So this page is great. This actually talks about these high growth verticals or product categories. If you scroll down here, you can see that the brands we just talked about fit into one or multiple of these categories. And all of them I'm very bullish on and I think offer great upside or great macro growth over the coming months and years. So up top, front and center here is the Canadian MJ industry, which they value or estimate at about $3 billion. They've got the Nutraceuticals, which is much larger, coming in at 400 billion. And for those unfamiliar with what nutraceuticals are, they're a food that contains a health-giving additive or having medical benefit to whoever consumes that food. So if you think about the recent push towards healthy living and really being in control of your body that's so common and so popular these days in our society, nutraceuticals plays a huge role in that space. The next one, very similar to that, is organic packaged food and beverages. I know personally I've been really focused on buying organic, especially now that we have a child. I'm really a lot more cautious about the products that we buy and consume on a regular day-to-day basis. So they estimate this opportunity to be about $36 billion. They've got organic, personal care, and beauty. Again, as someone who's married, I know that beauty products are a huge industry and women really want to put good quality products and good quality ingredients on their skin or in the beauty products that they buy. And then finally, we have the household consumable products. So this is stuff like the wipes, the disinfectant spray, things that you consume, you throw out, you replace on a regular cycle that really ensures that repeat revenue for the company. So all 5 of these, you guys, I think are great areas to be in business. I think they offer a lot of upside, and I feel like these are big trendy verticals that really aren't going anywhere in the near term or near future. And obviously there's a lot of synergies between this, whether it's the organic theme, the cannabinoid theme, the household product theme, or the food and beverage theme. A lot of things can really be learned between these different verticals and handed over or passed on for internal synergies at Neptune Wellness. So now that we've talked briefly about the overall company vision, the different verticals they operate in and their brand portfolio, I wanted to take a deep dive on some of the key components of this company. So number 1 is obviously MJ. Again, this is the theme of my YouTube channel, McNallie Money. So I wanted to spend a little bit of extra time on this component of Neptune Wellness. So they really attribute 3 key components to their success. So number 1 is their products. They're committed to high quality products. They've recently received license for dried flower and pre-rolls. So that's what we saw launch in BC in that initial article. Distribution, they're really leveraging on their long history and experience in this space. They're licensed to sell currently in 4 provinces, so BC, Quebec, Ontario, and Alberta. And between the 4, that represents about 80% of the Canadian MJ marketplace. So although they're not present in all of the different provinces, they do really have the lion's share in terms of Canadian population that they can serve and distribute to. The third pillar is technology. So state-of-the-art manufacturing facility, fully transitioned from business to business to consumer. They manufacture everything in-house, which really allows them to control that quality and bring their products to market at a much faster pace than if they were to third-party contract some of this stuff out. Now, the result of these 3 components is Neptune Wellness building a strong position in the national Canadian MJ market, which is expected to reach that $3 billion number in 2026. So they're really laying the groundwork now, you guys, to be one of the go-to and trusted providers in this space as it continues to grow and ramp up over the next couple of years. So this chart or map here talks about the 4 provinces that they currently serve. Again, there's that 80% number we just referenced. So in BC, they launched their mood ring products or lineup in December of 2020. In Alberta here, they have a supply agreement which they signed in April of 2021, so just recently. In Ontario, so out east, they've got their Mood Ring brand which launched in February of 2021. And then finally in Quebec, their Pan Hash brand launched in April of 2021 as well. So they just entered a lot of these markets fairly recently here, you guys. And this is why I think this might be a great growth opportunity, because they're really just getting their feet wet in terms of the business to consumer MJ space, not to mention all of these other products and household items that they've got going and the distribution capabilities and global supply chain. So you're really getting some diversification in a lot of really cool industries, plus you're getting that exposure to the Canadian MJ market. So shifting gears now away from the MJ opportunity, we're going to start talking about the organic packaged food and beverage space. This is another one that I'm super bullish on here, you guys. Whether we're talking about the Very Good Food Company, Tattooed Chef, these are obviously companies that are focused on more natural, plant-based food alternatives, or whether we're looking at GDMP, Good Natured Products, that's really focused on the packaging side of things. I really think that this space is exciting and it's going to have huge growth, which they're mentioning compound annual growth rate of 15 to 20% over the next 5 years. And I personally think that number is quite conservative. So obviously a huge addressable market, you guys, really worldwide opportunity here. $36 billion global addressable market, of which about 10% or 3.6 billion is really focused on that organic baby and toddler food space. So that's the Sprout Organics. In addition to that, they're flagging $1 billion opportunity in the CBD beverage space. So again, that coincides with the MJ discussion we just had. They've got 3 different brands overall that are focused on the food and beverage space. So Sprout Organics, Nurture Me, and Nosh. So it's not like they have all their eggs in one basket here. They've got a few different angles on this vertical. And that's exactly what they talk about here. So a fast-growing 3-brand portfolio of organic and plant-based baby food and toddler snacks. Founded in 2008, Sprout is the 3rd largest organic baby food brand on Amazon. We saw that in that initial slide. Sprout's strong brand allows for future product and revenue synergies. Establishing a strong relationship with new parents like myself and my wife creates opportunities for cross-selling and new product introductions. Since the acquisition, Neptune has added 8 retailers, including Target. And that's a great point. I should add, they didn't build this brand from scratch, you guys. They actually went out and acquired this, and it really shows their capability of folding existing brands into their bigger conglomerate or business portfolio. And one final note on the strong relationships, this is something I've really noticed specifically while having a child. Once you have a go-to brand that you're comfortable with and you trust, it's really hard to deviate or try out other products. It's not the same as when I go to the grocery store and I'm excited to try new things. With toddlers and infants, there's so many concerns about health, well-being, allergic reactions. You really don't want to venture too far from your comfort zone, and that's why I think it creates a really sticky customer base. So now shifting gears to the nutraceuticals. So these are products that are good for your health overall. Obviously, omega-3 fish oil and other supplements are some of the more common ones in this space. Now they've actually patented this Maximal technology, which is a lipid or fat absorption technology that they've created in-house. And it really allows a lot of these supplements to be well received and fully absorbed by the body to really give the maximum benefit to the consumer. This is a large global market opportunity, which we talked about, estimated at about $400 billion. So this is the largest TAM or total addressable market of any of their verticals. And they estimate that vitamins and supplements represent over 25% of this vertical at about $122 billion. Now again, CBD oil and health products come in at $31 billion, so the synergies with the MJ side of the company there. Plant-based protein supplements, $6 billion, so some synergies with the food and beverage space. And about half the category overall is what they call functional foods at $200 billion. So long story short here, huge market, a lot of different opportunities. They've got some unique and differentiated patented technology that really allows them to capitalize on a lot of these different opportunities. And again, they have a multi-branded approach here to really segment this market and take advantage of all different types of consumers. Now the final one we're going to talk about is the natural beauty and home products. So they estimate this at $400 billion as well. So another one of the top TAM or total addressable market opportunities in line or on par with nutraceuticals. One of the big areas of focus in this category is essential oils, which is estimated at $8 billion globally and has an estimated compound annual growth rate of 8% over the next 5 years. And Neptune Wellness is really focused on the organic health and beauty segment of this overall traditional market. So they estimate that the essential oils will be $8 billion. There'll be an additional $18 billion in other organic health and beauty products for a combined total of $26 billion market opportunity out of the total $400 billion plus health and beauty market worldwide. So to start to wrap things up here, I wanted to throw this slide in. It talks about their ESG commitment and how this is really woven into the fabric or the culture of Neptune Wellness itself. For those of you who aren't familiar, ESG stands for environmental, social, governance. So on the environmental front, they've got their veggie forward Sprout brands. They've got a partnership with Jane Goodall. So 5% of net sales are actually donated to the Jane Goodall Foundation or Institute. So very similar to the Plant a Tree initiative where they're giving back to the planet. They've got the eco-friendly forest remedies, which are distributed in 100% recyclable packaging made from tree-free, plantable, bee-saving paper, which is a mouthful, but in essence, very sustainable and planet-friendly packaging, similar to what we see with Good Natured products. And their hand sanitizers and that lineup is actually made from recyclable plastic as well. So very environmentally friendly. On the social aspect, 41% of the workforce at Neptune is actually female, and they're trying to get to that 50-50 ratio. They provide internal growth opportunities through personal training, mentorship, internship opportunities, and they've got an ongoing commitment to enhancing gender, racial, and ethnic diversity within the organization. Finally, on the governance front, Neptune has a separate independent chair, and most of the board members are actually independent as well. They operate under strict disclosure policy, so information is made public as soon as possible. All board members are elected on an annual basis, and they follow a strict majority voting policy. So all in all, guys, what this means, again, it goes back to my initial comment. As an investor, I'm really looking for a company that can make me money off my initial investment. But if they're able to do that in a sustainable way that actually gives back to the planet and supports the people that work within that organization, obviously I'm all for that. And that makes the company even stronger, in my personal opinion. And there's a lot of people now in the investment community that are really looking to invest in companies that are well-rounded like this, that they can back, they feel aligns with their own internal or moral compass, and can make them some money in the meantime. So I wanted to throw this in. Again, this is definitely not the sole reason I would invest in this company, but it is at the very least a nice to have. Now that's a perfect segue to this final slide here, guys, to close things out. 6 reasons why you should consider investing in Neptune Wellness. So number 1, a unique vision to build an innovative portfolio of plant-based CPG products with that true environmental, social governance story behind them. Secondly, this new Neptune has really gone through a profound business transformation that they feel is going to accelerate growth and set them up for long-term opportunity. Third, a scalable business model with growing distribution relationships and an established Canadian manufacturing base. After that, we've got strong innovations at the core of this team with patented technology like we saw with Maximil, along with solid technology pipeline in the works. Fifth, they've got a proven management team, over 20 years of experience with extensive CPG background. And finally, operating in large, high-growth categories. And this is really the most exciting for me, you guys, is every single vertical that Neptune operates in is extremely well positioned for long-term growth moving into the future. So overall, you guys, this is one that definitely is going to be on my watch list. Again, it doesn't offer the same level of exposure in the MJ space as some of these other companies we talk about on the channel. It also doesn't have any exposure in the United States, which is one of the areas I'm extremely bullish on in the MJ space. But in place of that, you are getting a lot of diversification in terms of different types of products, different consumer verticals, and that distribution, white labeling, and that CPG or consumer packaged goods experience and track record. So I think this would be a really nice one to add to my portfolio. Definitely wouldn't be one of my bigger holdings, but I think there's a lot of opportunity here. And to be honest, I'm just excited about the organic food space, the nutraceuticals, and some of these household products as I am about the MJ or Mood Ring division of this company. So for those reasons, I'm going to have this one on my watch list. I'm going to keep an eye on it over the next couple of months and see if it gets closer to that 90-cent, $1 type of support that we saw a couple years ago. If it hits those type of prices, I'm definitely going to be putting a chunk of my portfolio into Neptune Wellness. If and when I do, you guys, I'll keep you posted as always. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of this analysis, if you're currently holding any Neptune Wellness shares yourself, and what you think about some of these growth opportunities that they've laid out in this presentation. If you're not already subscribed to the channel itself, McNallie Money, take a second to do so. And if you're still watching at this point in the video, obviously you've found some value, so make sure you smash that like button. On a final note, you guys, have a great rest of your day, and thanks so much for watching.